This is Mac OS Ken.
Notes ahead of Apple earnings, interesting numbers on US iPhone sales, and Apple goes big on MLS Season 30. It is Thursday, the 30th of January, 2025. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSCan. Proving the world is a funny place. One Wall Street analyst has stayed bullish on Apple shares. One has issued a downgrade and gone kinda bearish. And both have the same price target. The world is funny. Apple 3.0 ran part of a note Tuesday from Evercore analyst Amit Daryanani ahead of Apple's December quarter numbers, which come out later today. Daryanani says he and his think Apple is positioned to deliver an inline quarter with continued emerging market growth and strength from services and wearables, referencing new AirPods and Apple Watch. As for what's ahead, Team Evercore is pumped, expecting a stronger for longer iPhone cycle that could drive growth ahead of seasonality thanks to the anticipated iPhone SE. While China is a wild card in the analyst's estimation, flat year-on-year revenue from the September quarter adds to Daryanani's conviction that Apple can maintain its iPhone share despite a more competitive Huawei. And besides, pretty soon investors will start thinking about the iPhone 17, which will reportedly unveil a new form factor, which could be a positive for the stock. Mr. Daryanani has an outperform rating on Apple's shares. His price target on the shares is $250. Less optimistic is Oppenheimer analyst Martin Yang. On Wednesday, Apple 3.0 ran part of a note he wrote, quoting part of that, "We see a twofold challenge ahead for iPhone growth. 1, stronger competition in Greater China, and 2, lack of compelling Apple Intelligence and generative AI apps to accelerate near-term device replacement. With slower than expected iPhone sales since last September and elevated valuation, we believe it will be challenging for Apple to outperform." And so it is no longer rated outperform. Yang lowered Oppenheimer's rating on the shares to perform. His price target stays at $250. And that will end this round of guessing. Apple reports December quarter numbers later today. Apple's Q1 fiscal year 25 numbers will hit after the close of trading via press release. Look for that to land around 1:30 p.m. Pacific, 4:30 Eastern. Then at 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern, Apple execs will talk about the holiday quarter and offer guidance and or color on what's ahead. You can hear the call as it happens on Apple's site. It will be made available as a podcast soon after, and we'll recap points of interest right here tomorrow. Remember the numbers I brought you yesterday? The ones from market tracker IDC about iPhone sales in China? The latest Apple note from boutique researcher Consumer Intelligence Research Partners might actually support IDC's thinking. Addressing smartphone sales in China this week, IDC analyst Will Wong said, "Consumers are becoming more selective. This implies a value-seeking trend that is prevalent not only in China, but also globally. That may be reflected in the latest CIRP survey. According to that, fewer iPhone buyers surveyed are buying more storage. Last quarter, the firm says 44% of iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max buyers upgraded from base storage. That was down from 48% for iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max buyers this time last year. Similarly, only 42% of iPhone 16 and 16 Plus buyers last quarter upgraded from base storage. That was down from 48% this time last year for iPhone 15 and 15 Plus. It's kind of hard not to see thrift as a possibility here, though CIRP doesn't think so. They put the decline in storage upgrades down to buyers figuring out that the base level of storage is really enough, thanks largely to ubiquitous high-speed cellular and Wi-Fi connections, making streaming and cloud storage practical and reliable. Sure, maybe, especially when one looks at buyers of legacy iPhones. Somewhat surprisingly, says CIRP, a greater percentage of buyers of the legacy iPhone models paid for upgraded storage in the December 2024 quarter than did in December 2023. The way the firm sees it, those poor so-and-sos may be upgrading from even older phones, so they have more recent experience bumping up against storage limits and really don't want that to happen again. Or, the firm says, they may plan to hold on to their new old iPhone for several years and want to future-proof it. Of course, the piece points out they are investing less in their phone overall, so the added $100 for upgraded storage is only a few more dollars a month on an already fairly low payment over the course of a typical installment purchase. Hey, hang on a second, does that reintroduce thrift as a possible factor? Kind of interesting numbers. It looks like some iPhone users may have a new direct-to-cell satellite service soon. Engadget says T-Mobile and Starlink are testing texting on the Starlink network when out of normal coverage. It's currently in beta, and only for people who signed up for the beta program back in December. At least some of those T-Mobile customers reportedly received messages this week saying they can now stay connected with texting via satellite from virtually anywhere. iPhone users who got the message were encouraged to update to iOS 18.3 to activate the feature. While the service is currently text-only, Engadget says future plans include adding voice and data connectivity. The number of games available for Apple Vision Pro grew in a big way yesterday. I told you earlier this month that NVIDIA GeForce Now was coming to Apple's headset. Now a piece from 9 to 5 Mac says, Now is now available. According to the report, the game library available for subscribers now exceeds 2,000 titles, and you can even play over 100 for free with no paid subscription required. That said, they are not virtual reality or mixed reality games. They're games like you'd play on a console or a computer, played through the native Safari app in Vision OS. The timing is notable, though maybe coincidental. Yes, this week Apple released a ton of OS updates. 9 to 5 Mac says it is unknown if the just-released Vision OS 2.3 makes a difference at all for compatibility, but it's probably best to update before giving GeForce Now a go. And finally today, Major League Soccer turns 30 this year. To celebrate, Apple has issued a press release that would take about that long to read. Starting year 3 of Apple's 10-year MLS partnership, subscriptions for the 2025 season are open, with the first game starting on the 22nd of February. If you don't count the games before that. MLS Season Pass will broadcast select pre-season matches according to the press release. At least some of those will be available to stream for free for Apple TV Plus subscribers. The season opens on the weekend of the 22nd and 23rd of February, when all 30 clubs will take the pitch at once for the most grueling match. Okay, not really. I think they probably mean 15 games. New this season, Sunday Night Soccer. According to the release, MLS Season Pass will broadcast a featured game of the week on Sunday evenings under the banner Sunday Night Soccer. Those will also be available to stream for free for Apple TV Plus subscribers. T-Mobile customers will get MLS Season Pass for free, according to the release. Additionally, customers will be able to subscribe directly through Comcast and DirecTV. There's a new 8-part docuseries hitting Apple TV Plus on the 21st of February. There'll be tie-ins to players and clubs on Apple Music, tie-ins with Apple Maps, Apple News, the Apple Sports app, because duh. And some Apple stores will actually stream some of the games in store. Of course, all of this is to get people to subscribe. An MLS on Apple TV Season Pass will run subscribers $14.99 per month or $99 for the full season. Apple TV Plus subscribers get a bit of a deal. They can subscribe for $12.99 per month or $79 for the whole kit, and caboodle. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. info@macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Buttons aren't toys.
Buttons aren't toys.